Alright, another one. This is from the last weekend. I had a 6th round game in a Finnish league. So it's 90 plus 30 plus you get extra 30 minutes after 40th move plus 30-second increment after every move. So it's a bit too much the longest time control I get to play. Had a second black in a row. I think now I'm 3-3 color wise. 3 whites, 3 blacks. White games I have won all. Black games have been 1-1 so far. And when facing opponent I had played a few years ago in the League 2. And I was black in that game too. They went the same way, knight f3. So I did not really expect them to play in this match, but they did show up. So I wasn't really prepared against them. But after I saw this, I remembered, oh, yeah, we're gonna see a King's Indian attack. Well, bing, bang, d3 castles, something like that. Last time I went a little differently. I had like a mirroring situation going on. I just copied their moves for a while and we ended up in a pretty symmetrical, even position. This time, a little different plan. d5, g3, c5. So basically, we are playing the King's Indian defense, but with reverse color. So exactly the same as, for instance, we would play the normal King's Indian defense here, but we're just doing it in a reverse here. So something. So exactly the same, but of course I'm on the black side, so I'm a tempo down. And the King's Indian defense, even though computer likes it for white, it's tricky to play. And here I'm playing a tempo down, so it is very dangerous. d3. Well, knight f3 would be a normal move. I play this setup. I like to play on white side too. Bishop e7. Alright, so they play here. Knight bd2. Comes to support something. Probably e4. And then we go. Full stupid. h5. Which is maybe a little inaccurate move order. I should probably do this because, well, there's a little difference here is that white hasn't really locked the center up yet and they could play it this way and then go for some kind of a Penko counterplay here. So probably would be better to do this and then h5 later on, for instance. But here I went for it and they locked the center, so it didn't really matter. Attacks my e-pawn, I have to defend it. I don't really want to close the diagonal here because I want to push the pawn. And then they played a4, prevents the b5, so the knight can stand there. They put nice pressure on my e-pawn. And my queen is, of course, a little unhappy being here instead of trying to get to action here. Well, I'm going to open up the h-file. They took. I took. Here, I probably should take it. I don't really know why I didn't do it. I feel like during the game, I somehow thought the f4 is possible still, but this does prevent it. But probably they could do this and have some kind of x-ray here, and if I move the rook, then they'll get the f4 in, and well, it's not so far from what happened in the game, but I played bishop e6, which is, I think, fine too. Well, white goes f4, surprise. And of course, this is a complete wreck here. White is up a pawn. My king is still in the center. They have the bishop pair. Things are escalating in the center and it might explode, or, well, I'd like to keep it as close as possible. Well, I decided to wreck their pawn structure too, which has some downsides and upsides too, which I didn't really understand at the moment I did this. Well, here again, maybe takes this again. Bang. They play queen e1. I should go here. Anticipating this, so this would be already defended, and well, queen comes here. This way apparently I can keep things nicely in order, like here. We have this knight jumping here just in time. Would have been good. I did not go this way. Instead, I wanted to capture with the queen. Also, I kind of wanted to get out of this pin in advance, but this is probably a little stupid. And also that I did not even see the possibility of what we caused by taking here. White taking here, white placed rook a3. With the idea, of course, that if I take here now, bang, oops, rook's gone. I mean, probably could still take with the rook. Instead, I played knight f6. They took here, I took here. And then they attacked my g-pawn. Well, here I knew things are gonna go very dangerous if I play knight h5. But whatever. They go here, hit the knight, I defend it. It's like a borderline, is this gonna hold up or not? Or are the bishops just gonna kill me? Here I was kind of unpleasantly looking at this, like it would prevent the castles. They went the other way around, still good. And I played f6 with the intention that, well, I knew that this is a really good possibility, and I think it might be the possibility here for sure. And then the computer points out that the best move would be to sack this and then take here. Queen comes somewhere to defend the thingy. And well, if I go here, queen g4, ping. Also the rooks here. Apparently here I can white is just winning, which is horrible. Like if I go here, e5, or rook takes e5, f6 for instance. I can't castle. Best move would be to sack here. King comes here or I castle, but it's just horrible. Everything is collapsing here. I'm down how many pawns? Only 2, 3. Okay, yeah. Not good. I have a no, I don't have even a discover check. This is hanging here. Yeah. I mean, this is just busted. After this, I have to go queen h7. Yeah, this is the better defense. I have to hit the bishop so they don't have time to come here with the queen. They come here to defend the bishop and then I have time to castle, and this is like a fine. But also I had to come up, well, I thought this is also possible, and my opponent was looking at this too. I had an intention of going here, but my follow-up was wrong though. So they take here. I was like during the somewhere where like I played g6, I looked at that maybe I can come here. But then rook here, and apparently this is not so good as I thought it is. Well, yeah, I don't think I have anything. This guy is there, and this is like protected, and I don't get anywhere here, and the bishop is covering this check here, and this is nothing. Computer points out that here, instead of this plan, which I was kind of looking at, but apparently it's no good, I have to go queen c7, which is not the move I was, not the move on my radar at all. And then this is like equal, even though it's a complete mess. Bishop saves itself. Rook f8. This is like the best line. That makes no sense to me at all. Bang. I mean, that's a sensible move. Wants to get the queen into the game. Black has to play like random rook f7 and bishop here. And well, like none of this makes sense. It's a computer line. Instead, here for I did also kind of consider here that if they sack the rook, I might just say no thank you, and castle away, and like hoping that I'd have a play against the king. I'm down few pawns, but they're doubled h pawn at least, and we have the g file to play with. Computer says no, white is better, and I don't doubt it. I don't think I have that much play against the king. It's probably gonna be pretty safe there, and rooks might double here, and me. Well, instead they retreated the rook after a long think. And then I just castle, and then I'm happy with my position. The knights are nice. The bishops are not so efficient at the moment. This is hanging here, which we might take, and they defend it. I was also not sure about this plan from white at all. I went king b8, just tucking the king a little bit out of any checks, or my intention was to go all the way out. Oh, they came here. I put the rook here, intention to play g5, but then I still kept improving things, like let's make a safety move here for the king. Here I should definitely push the pawn already. And then black is better. I don't know what white does, like if they take, we'll take. Then the knights are coming here, or push the pawn and the other knight jumps there. I thought I have time to set the king up out of any checks, but I don't know. They are probably not at all bothersome here. I mean, this is not winning or anything, but black has now maybe easier ways to cause trouble for white. Rook f5, for instance. We push g4. We want to put the knight there to be a kind of a general pain. And well, computer's main line is king f1, not a move many would do. g5 better. Also, maybe a5 instead of a6, because after a6, the queen comes here. I move the queen here to look at this, but at some point I was kind of worried that they might start to wreck things up with the b4, and a5 would have stopped that. This would have caused problems in the game later on if I lock this side up, but and of course if I do a5, sorry, then let's say they at some point attack this pawn, and do I really want to play b6 and then the king is open up again, even though it's not so dangerous looking at the moment, but if this center somehow collapses or this side starts to open up, the king could also be vulnerable without the pawn cover, but like maybe it could tuck itself here and be safe-ish. But I think I should have prevented the b4. Well, I also know in hindsight that the g5, of course, no. Well, this is what I was looking at, but then I wanted to set things up like king is out of all the checks. We have a luft, and well, I don't know. This is probably not the right way to play. If you have castled opposite sides, you have to somehow throw the caution to the wind and not min-max your position but I don't know. It's not horrible. It's about equal. So, but maybe I could have gained an advantage by going at it at the right time. All right, so white decided that this bishop maneuver was wrong. And then they come back. Oh, threats, takes. So I decided to just defend the pawn. I was thinking here to push the g5, but it's probably not so great. Okay. Whatever way they take it. But yeah, it's well, okay, yeah, here we just sack the pawn. It doesn't make sense. Even though it's on front of the king, it doesn't really matter. White can play like h4, and now this is hanging, and the queen is probably gonna go somewhere, and I don't think I have anything here anymore. This is fine. But okay, the rook's no longer on the g file. But at least we are really solid. Oh, they played here, there, and then played here. I was also looking at this move during that I realized after I took here that, oh, this is no longer defended, so they might come take advantage of the pin here. But they played this pretty quickly, so I didn't really have time to worry about this too long. Apparently it's fine, but computer wants to play here, and I don't know, I was thinking of this move here, just defending this again. But of course the knight's no longer on e5 where it was kind of happy. Instead they attacked my knight. I don't know, tried to take and maybe snag a pawn. So I say, let's snag that pawn. Well, they took. I took with the f pawn. Here I was really happy. I don't really see how he stops this, like I have check here and I'm gonna take here, and this is vulnerable and none of my things, I mean that is hanging, but it looks dangerous. They went here. I think they said that they were looking at this and some kind of sack here and some checks. Like if I take here, they take here and I take here, for instance, and but at least looking at these possibilities. Well, I like how they played it. This was a good move. I did not see that the potential of this at all. Maybe an idea, but the main idea is to go here and like if I take, at least white has a perp here. Also, here I was very low on time already. My opponent played pretty fast. I was spending time because it's not an opening or positions I'm too familiar with, so I had to spend time. Well, here also the other problem was my team was, I think, losing 2-0 at this point, so I had to play for a win. But also I had like minutes on the clock at this point, which is not good for a complicated situation. Well, I took a check. They hit the king. And then I decided to play for a win instead of allow any kind of a perps here. Like taking here and allowing this to happen. I'll take, go here. Queen takes. Also, I'm not sure, like, white probably should take the draw here, but like playing for a win is probably gonna end up in a bad situation here. Not so good. I mean, of course, the rook can go back after the takes rook g2, but then this is here, and now there's no longer check here, and the mate is threatened here, and it's not so easy to get out of. Like here, bing, bang, bang. Rook check here, and still no check here. king goes somewhere and we just take it, or even do this, and well, wherever white goes, it's gonna be mate. But obviously I didn't have time to see any of this. I just hope that I have a, like I saw, it's very dangerous if they try to play for a win here. But then, situation being situation, I sacked the pawn here to defend c5. Well, they took, and then I took here, and they did the check here. And now I went the wrong way around. I missed a key detail about this position is that if I take, I was looking at this, I had like 30 seconds to make the decision, or 40 seconds. Then I decided, no, it doesn't make a difference. I'll just take it. Get the queen off this pawn, which is not a problem. But the fact that the queen comes here is the problem. And then I can't really, well, I had a way to avoid the things here. I could still take here, allow both this and that. But in time trouble, I missed them. For instance, that if they take the rook, I have the classic perpetual here. Well, ends up in a draw. Well, apparently I can also, well, I could take this. Also, in a game, this is fine, but it's difficult though. I did not know how to, well, I messed the endgame up and it's a very, very, very difficult endgame, but the problem here is that I'm in time trouble in these critical moments. Bang, I take here, bang, and then they come here. And this is the problem. It's a passed pawn on h-file. Yeah, I was considering this, but this still is a draw, but not an easy one. I checked again, and then went after this pawn, in hopes that maybe they go here, and I'll no, go here for this pawn, and well, it's a mess. Big threats. But yeah, here I get under the pawn, and maybe here, or try to make myself a passed pawn here. Well, not an easy thing to do. Well, my opponent started to push. Let me have the e-pawn. This is much closer to the white king. And now I did not like this. I did not like this, which I did end up deciding. Somehow I missed the only drawing move here. It's that I have to force myself a passed pawn somehow here on this side with b5, which is not obvious at all that this does it. So few options. For instance, white pushes the pawn here. I get to take there. I get to take here. This looks dangerous, but I can get under the pawn with check. Here. Then run after this guy. For instance, takes. He can also push my pawn, rook, under the pawn at any point in this line. I don't think it makes a difference. But here we can take this one. I'm a little bit faster in this line than the game lines. h7, king has to go here, king comes here. And this I can hold to a draw. Either way he takes. I get to push c3. I don't know, push. Rook goes under the pawn, king comes here. This guy comes forward. Not there. Here, king comes here. I mean, if I push, they'll sack the rook and bing, bang. And this guy has this in control. Or if I try to push this one, then king just comes here, for instance, and stops this guy. Oh, no, sorry. Here probably threatens to take this one. If I try this one, king here. If I push the pawn, I lose them both, but still just about enough to draw. Anyways, yeah, b5. Or if he takes here, there. This is close to the game, but now I have to find c4 here. Like, this is no longer good enough. 8-6. I get under the pawn. King comes here. Go under the pawn here. Let's say they push this guy. King comes here. This is the exact same variation that we end up in a game. Now I don't get to take this. If I push there goes my last pawn. This guy just goes here and wins. This transposes to where we were. So here, instead, I have to find c4 here. Insane, I give up my passer here. But now the point is that I get... Oh, now I have to go under the pawn. King comes to run here. Also, this could be included at any point again. King comes here, for instance. My king gets in time to come to this side. And then I can use this pawn to distract the rook or the king a little further back. For instance, this, I get the king here, block their king, and we win the edge pawn. Or if they push, I have to go here. Again, if they take here, I'll go here. King comes here, I get to here, and then, well, if this happens, I'll sack the rook. Either one takes, I go king f5 or here, and this guy is now blockaded here, and the king is kind of blockaded here. Bang, bang, bong. Can't go forward. Can play e2, and again the rook alone cannot stop the pawn. It ends up in a draw. Not an easy to hold, but yeah, I did kind of, I don't know, psychologically I was already like halfway resigned at this point. Only excuse I have to find in the b5. Also, I didn't really have time to, this is the 42nd move, but I somehow was still in like a blitzy blitz mode. I had been in last 10, 12 moves. Not really a blitz since you have the 30-second increment, but somehow when you get into a time trouble in a classical game, even though you have 30 seconds per move, your mental state is always like, oh, this is not much time. But yeah, this holds the way I played in a game. King b6, rook push. Oh, the pawn push, I checked. I tried this one, but the problem here is that I'm just one tempi short. Now nothing works, b5 working here. The point is that this guy gets to cross the third rank just in time, so this defends the pawn. I don't get to take it, and then I'm just completely lost. Well, I tried bang, 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 bang. Oh, now I go here. They come closer. Threat is this. And now the problem is that I have no waiting moves here because now they don't even have to like take with the rook here and let me have this pawn. They can take with the king. I mean, I guess I could here keep checking the king away. But then the king is again similar to the game, close to the pawn. So this is have no chances of going through. In a game I took here first, but the problem is that this guy is too close. I took here. King comes here. I pushed here. King comes here, and here I resigned because if I push the pawn, the rook just comes here to pin it and win it, and that's it. Eventful game, not an easy one. I missed some key details like the queen f2 in the time trouble here, where it gets to simplify it into a draw. Or, well, this is still good enough, but the ending is not easy. This is a pain, a lot of pain. Anyways, that was an unfortunate loss. I'm now 4 wins, 2 losses in a Finnish league after round 6. one round to go, and my team has also gone below the relegation line, so we have to actually win the last game to stay in the outer division. Not an easy thing. Had 2 big losses in a row, but we'll see. Next game next month. Until then, ciao.